Have you ever opened your heart to someone, only to feel exposed or misunderstood afterward? In today's world, where vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness and everyone seems to demand full access to your life, the art of inner protection is more essential than ever. Buddhism reminds us that true wisdom often lies not in what we reveal, but in what we preserve. The Buddha taught that a wise person is not led by the noise of the crowd, but by the stillness of their own inner knowing. When you protect your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, and dreams, you're not closing yourself off from life. You're choosing power over exposure, clarity over chaos. Let's walk together through a series of timeless teachings that show how protecting your spirit isn't selfish, it's sacred. We all carry moments of fragility, past wounds, insecurities, doubts we rarely speak aloud. But in Buddhist thought, these aren't signs of failure. They're sacred teachers. They reveal where our compassion must grow, where our ego must soften, and where our strength is waiting to be born. Sharing these parts of yourself too freely can invite misunderstanding, judgment, or even manipulation. Not everyone will meet your openness with kindness. That's why protecting your vulnerabilities isn't cowardice, it's care. It's allowing yourself the quiet space to heal, to transform, and to rise at your own pace. You are not your flaws. You are the one growing through them. In Buddhism, relationships are built not just on love or connection, but on discernment. Trust is a sacred offering, not a casual gift. Not everyone who smiles is a friend. Not everyone who listens is safe. Be slow to open your inner temple. Observe. Feel their energy. Let time reveal intentions. Even good people can unintentionally harm you if they don't understand the depth of your path. When you share too soon, you may find your truth distorted, your dreams doubted, or your spirit dimmed. Protect your peace. Let others earn access to your vulnerability, not through words, but through presence, patience, and respect. In an age of oversharing, silence becomes sacred. Every detail of our lives is expected to be broadcast: what we eat, who we love, where we go, what we feel. But the more you expose, the more you lose control of your own narrative. Buddhist teachings encourage you to turn inward, to create space between your truth and the world's gaze. Your emotions, your relationships, your healing journey, these are not for public consumption. They are to be nurtured in silence until they are strong enough to shine on their own. Privacy lets your life breathe. It frees you from the noise of opinions. And it protects your sacred fire from winds that would try to blow it out. In Buddhist thought, your emotional reactions are like ripples on water. They reveal where the stone was thrown. When someone provokes you, angers you, hurts you, confuses you, it's easy to lash out or collapse inward. But this reaction gives them power over your peace. What if, instead of reacting, you simply observed, breathed, watched your emotions like clouds passing through the sky? This isn't repression. It's wisdom. The one who controls their inner storm holds real strength. Your anger, sadness, and fear are valid, but they don't need to lead the way. Let your awareness lead. Speak from stillness. Act from clarity. This is emotional freedom. In Buddhist culture, it's often said that a sprouting seed must be hidden until it's strong enough to face the sun. Your dreams, intentions, and goals are like that seed, delicate, beautiful, full of potential. But when shared too early, they can be trampled by others' doubts, mocked by envy, or weakened by unsolicited advice. People don't always intend harm, but their energy can impact your growth. Doubt is contagious. So let your plans grow in silence. Water them with discipline. Protect them with patience. Let your actions speak instead of your promises. That's how you turn a dream into reality, quietly, powerfully, without needing applause. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha says, "Be ever vigilant, a moment of carelessness invites suffering." This doesn't mean you must live in fear or suspicion, but that you move through life with awareness, not blind trust. Many spiritual seekers confuse openness with naivete. But mindfulness is about balance. Being kind doesn't mean being careless. Keeping your guard up doesn't mean closing your heart, it means respecting your own peace enough to protect it. When you stay vigilant, you notice energy shifts. You sense when a conversation is veering into manipulation. You feel when someone's presence is draining your spirit, even if their words are sweet. This awareness empowers you to step away before the damage is done. You don't have to explain your boundaries to everyone. Just have them. You don't have to announce your vigilance. Let your energy say, "I honor my space." Buddhist monks spend years cultivating noble silence. It's not about muting your truth, it's about recognizing that not every truth needs to be spoken, not every feeling needs to be shared. When you respond with silence, you invite reflection. You shift the energy from reaction to awareness. In a heated moment, silence can disarm ego. In a toxic dynamic, it can break patterns. In moments of chaos, silence becomes your sanctuary. Ask yourself, must I speak? Will my words serve growth or simply feed noise? Sometimes, silence says, I see everything, and I choose peace. It draws a boundary. It holds power. It's not passive, it's intentional. And in a world addicted to noise, your silence becomes your shield and your wisdom. Modern culture encourages us to spill our emotions, tell our stories, expose our wounds for likes and validation. But the Dharma teaches, know the measure in all things. Sharing without awareness can dilute your truth. Not everyone is meant to hold your sacred story. Some will misuse it, others will misunderstand it. And some will silently judge what they have not earned the right to hear. When you treat your inner world like treasure, you only open it in places where it will be honored. You begin to ask, is this person safe for my truth? Have they shown the depth needed to hold it? This isn't about pride or secrecy. It's about sacred discernment. The deepest parts of you don't belong to the spotlight. They belong to silence, to solitude, to trusted hearts who meet you in presence, not performance. The Buddha taught that between stimulus and response, there is a gap. And in that gap lies the key to freedom. When someone says something that stings, when life throws chaos at you, your power lies not in reacting immediately, but in pausing. That pause gives you perspective. It allows the ego to settle and the truth to rise. In that breath of silence, you remember, I am not my emotion. I am the awareness witnessing it. Mastering the pause is a spiritual skill. It takes practice. You'll stumble. You'll react sometimes. But every time you catch yourself before spiraling, you strengthen your center. You become less controlled by the world, and more in control of your experience within it. This is how you move from being reactive to being radiant. Sometimes, your silence will offend. Your distance will be misunderstood. Your privacy will be labeled as cold. That's okay. Buddhist wisdom doesn't teach you to live for others' approval, it teaches you to live in alignment. To recognize when something is not yours to fix, not yours to answer, not yours to absorb. You are not required to engage with every opinion, defend every decision, or justify your boundaries. Protecting your energy means allowing others to think what they will, while you remain rooted in your peace. You don't need to match others' chaos. You don't need to correct their projections. Let their noise echo in their own space, not yours. One of the deepest forms of freedom taught in Buddhist wisdom is this: you don't have to be understood to be at peace. Many suffer not because they are mistreated, but because they are misunderstood and cannot let go of the desire to explain themselves. The truth is, most people listen through their own filters. They see through the lens of their own wounds, and no amount of explaining will shift their perception. So instead of bending yourself to be understood, bend inward to understand yourself. Your peace does not depend on external validation. When you release the need to explain your intentions, your dreams, your healing, you reclaim immense power. You stop wasting energy on those who cannot hear your frequency. Let your alignment be your explanation. Let your actions, your energy, your silence say all that needs to be said. In Buddhism, detachment is often misunderstood. It's not about shutting down emotionally. It's about releasing your grip on outcomes, people, and things that you never truly controlled in the first place. You can love deeply and still let go. You can care fully and not cling. Detachment means holding life lightly, like holding water in your hands. Try to clutch it tightly and it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, it stays. Letting go isn't giving up. It's making space. When you release attachment to how things should be, you can see clearly how they are. And that clarity invites peace. You are not losing control, you are surrendering control that was never yours. Buddhism places great emphasis on sacred solitude, not loneliness, but intentional time alone to reconnect with your inner world. In a loud world that constantly shouts for your attention, solitude is revolutionary. It is the soil in which wisdom grows. Take time to be still. To sit with your thoughts without distraction. To walk in nature without headphones. To eat in silence. To journal, breathe, reflect. In these quiet spaces, truths arise that cannot be heard in noise. You begin to hear the whisper of your intuition. You start to feel the difference between your ego's wants and your soul's needs. Solitude sharpens your intuition and strengthens your boundaries. You begin to see clearly who deserves a seat at your table and who is simply drawn to your light. Your energy is your most valuable currency. Who you give it to determines the direction of your life. If someone handed you a gold coin, you wouldn't toss it to anyone who walked by. Yet many people hand out their attention, time, emotions, and presence as if they are endless. They're not. In Buddhism, this is called wise use of attention. You protect your peace by protecting where your energy flows. Ask yourself, does this person or situation restore me, or drain me? If it's draining you without return, without depth, without growth, it's a leak. And leaks weaken your foundation. Start saying no without guilt. Cancel things that cost your spirit. Exit conversations that disturb your inner peace. This is not selfish. It is self-respect. As you evolve, not everyone will celebrate it. Some will be confused. Others will resist. And some may try to pull you back into old roles because your growth makes them uncomfortable. That's okay. You are not obligated to stay where you were just to make others feel safe. Your spiritual expansion is not meant to be watered down for those unwilling to rise. In Buddhism, growth is not loud. It's not flashy. It's often invisible to others, happening quietly within the silence of your practice, your breath, your choices. Protect your evolution. Don't explain it to those who don't walk the path. You don't need to post every breakthrough, or convince anyone you've changed. Let your transformation be witnessed by those with eyes to see. And let the rest wonder. When emotions rise, anger, sadness, fear, it's easy to ride them like waves, being tossed around by circumstance. But Buddhist teaching reminds us, you are not the wave, you are the ocean. Waves come and go. But the ocean remains. The more you root into stillness, the more you remember this truth. Emotions will pass. Circumstances will change. People will shift. But your inner self, the observer behind it all, is constant. When you stop identifying with every passing wave, you gain immense power. You stop reacting to life and start responding from centered awareness. This is the heart of true strength. Searching for peace in people. For clarity in chaos. For worth in validation. For power in control. But here is the truth that Buddhism has always whispered. You were never meant to chase those things. You were meant to remember what's already within you. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Everything you've been seeking, it's not out there. It's here. In this stillness. In this awareness. In this moment. The Buddha never said suffering wouldn't come. He said you could walk through it and emerge awake. He didn't teach escape. He taught presence. Not control, but awareness. Not domination, but surrender. Not fear, but freedom. Freedom from the thoughts that pull you apart. Freedom from the need to prove, to impress, to chase. Freedom from the illusion that peace lives anywhere but within you. You don't need to shine like someone else's sun. You are already your own flame. Soft. Fierce. Eternal. When the world spins fast, be the unmoving center. When people speak with noise, speak with presence, or speak not at all. When everything feels uncertain, trust the ground beneath your breath. Your silence is not emptiness. It is sacred space. Your solitude is not loneliness. It is homecoming. Your boundaries are not walls. They are guardians of peace, and when pain visits, because it will, let it not break you, but carve you. Let it teach you. Let it open your heart wider. Let it reveal what can't be shaken. The most dangerous person in the room is not the loudest, not the angriest, not the most aggressive. It is the one who remains still, the one who feels, but does not flinch. Who hears, but does not react. Who knows, but does not need to prove that calmness. That discipline? It isn't weakness. It's mastery. Not everyone deserves to know your dreams. Not everyone can hold your truth. Not everyone should have access to your energy. Speak less. Reveal less. Give only what is earned. And let your growth speak louder than your words. Because when you protect your inner world, your peace, your plans, your emotions, you protect your power. So, release the idea that you must always be strong. Let go of the belief that you must never fall. Stop trying to be light for everyone else, and start remembering that you are the light. In Buddhism, enlightenment is not a destination. It is a return. A return to awareness. To compassion. To stillness. To self. And if you've made it this far, it means something inside you is ready. Ready to let go. Ready to stop clinging. Ready to stop apologizing for needing peace. Ready to begin again, not louder, not bigger, but quieter. Clearer. Stronger when life rushes in with its storms. When the world feels heavy. When the noise grows loud. Be the stillness. Be the silence. Be the ocean. Be the light you've been seeking. Because now you know. You don't need to chase peace. You were born with it. You don't need to search for wisdom. It's been waiting in your stillness. You don't need to fear being broken. You are being forged. And above all, you don't need permission to protect your energy, your dreams, or your heart. You are the temple. You are the ocean. You are the light.